right, looks like we're good to go. Just double checking. All right, we are all set. So, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. It's May 25th, 2021. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with our SPY. So overall, our normal thesis remains. We are seeing follow through after SPY put in some potential bottoming action over the past couple of sessions. We saw that there was a lot of volatility and a pretty wide range to trade against, but overall the SPY was able to clear some downtrend resistance, able to start to build some energy in this area, start to flag and basically just consolidate. And that led to a fairly strong breakout yesterday with a lot of follow through. We know that a large portion of that breakout was facilitated by things inside of the QQQ, more specifically some of our big tech names. And while the Qs have been an underperformer in recent weeks, we did see some potential yesterday where the Qs were able to clear the lower range. They were able to put in some bottoming structure right at previous resistance turn support. This area is notable to us, and we know that this area is where breakouts are going to come and check before they move higher. And upon seeing that support, we did get some nice follow through, leading us all the way to our target, which was this double bottom. So while it didn't occur all in yesterday's session, I would say that so far the target has been achieved. We have essentially filled this range back up. And now we are looking once again, are bears going to step in and sort of cause some resistance at these key levels? Or is this the start of something much larger to the upside? And with IWM, obviously still lagging overall. We're not seeing nearly the same follow through. We're not seeing nearly the same strength. And typically on days of weakness, we actually see additional weakness in IWM. So far, staying clear from IWM until we get a little bit more confirmation. Overall, not really where the action is at this time. So the reason I'm going through these slides or these topics pretty quickly today is I do want to talk about what occurred yesterday and how, as a trader, you can take advantage of some of these movements inside of a market that seems to basically be in one direction and not give much of the day back. And for traders, I would say that days like yesterday are what we live for. They are directionally very biased. Normally, as directional traders, especially just long, short equity traders, not only do you want a lot of range to play around in, but you also want that range to not really have a lot of chop. You don't want to have battles between buyers and sellers because it can lead to indecision. It can lead to you to basically take partials too quickly or to exit a core position prematurely and obviously miss out on the larger overall move inside of the day, or at least in the morning session and potentially in the afternoon sessions as well. And when it comes to these days, we want to talk about things like balanced and imbalanced markets. So part of what we've been discussing so far is that the SPY has been in an area of balance for quite a while. We know if we bring up something like volume profile, that this area here is a large area of balance. We also know that in most market conditions, when you start to move away from value, market participants basically have one of two choices. They can either facilitate that move by moving the market and the price into another area of value. Usually this occurs in some sort of range expansion type of way, or the market can move away from value, not find enough value to hold it in this new zone, and then it has to return to the larger area of value. This is what gives us our sort of range structure. Usually you see clear support, clear resistance, usually indicated by supply and demand zones inside of the market based typically around price. So when we have market conditions where we are mostly balanced, we're looking for opportunities where maybe there's a point in time where one, I would say, directional biased set of market participants is trying to set up a trade or trying to set up a position in the market. This position might actually make sense. And when we look at the SPY, we look at Friday's price action. We say that the SPY has been trading in a range. This range is well defined. We know that there is demand sitting in these areas because we've had clear reactions from them. And we know that supply sits here. We also know that this area is a pretty large balance zone. So there is reason to believe that so far this area has acted as resistance. And when we see Friday's price action, we say, okay, maybe the bears are setting up for another leg down. This is why we sort of wait to allow the market to confirm that, yes, there is some resistance here, but bulls want to push us through. And we did not have that Friday. We saw key things starting to form on Friday, but there was no follow through. So we were patient. We waited for a little bit more confirmation. And what ended up happening on Monday is we started with an opportunity inside of the pre-market. We started with a gap. And this gap allowed for new information to market participants to basically be factored in. It's stating that while Friday's session was weak, we are opening close to, or in the case of Monday, we're opening right around the upside of Friday's range. We did not sell off. We did not open lower. We did not gap lower. So the question then becomes, are bears in control based on Friday's price? And the answer ended up being not really. What ended up occurring is we get new market participants coming in. And typically these market participants are kind of defined in very simple terms. I like to think of it in just a few simple ways. You either have calm bulls who are buying breakouts of key levels, and they're using that breakout to facilitate momentum to the upside. They're allowing price to move away from a previous supply zone, and that supply zone then acts now as a potential demand zone once we come to test it. So these are going to be your momentum bulls. You also have people like unhappy bears who shorted on Friday thinking that, yes, this is resistance. It should act as resistance again. These bears are now underwater. They're starting to feel pain. And depending on their time frame, they may start getting stopped out. So these bears actually help perpetuate the move that we're looking to get. And then finally, you have unhappy bulls, people who are not in some of this price action. They're not positioned near support, and they're not positioned necessarily in the breakout. They're actually chasing the price as it starts to move higher and higher. Usually these bulls will facilitate the last portion of a trending day sort of thesis, where you're essentially you get that final breath of the push as these happy bulls are getting in late to the party. They basically missed a lot of the move up to that point, and then from there things tend to obviously either settle or turn around as they have bad location inside of the market. Now, when we look at this, and when we look at things like the Qs, which certainly was the strongest area to consider yesterday, there are some key targets that we're obviously looking at. We're looking at these previous resistances. Markets have come here. They are starting to test these areas. We're looking at things like prior price action and compression inside of markets. Did we have breakout levels, breakouts of key levels occurring? I would say that yes, we did. In the Qs, we were able to get over this zone, and on Friday, it looked as if things were starting to turn around, but then we stopped where we were supposed to at key support areas. Also think about just trapping things like bears, and we've talked about this basically throughout. The idea of something coming down or price action looking bearish inside of a previous resistance zone, and that price action having no follow through. So the bears are trapped. We're breaking out of a range, you know, that lower range, as volatile as it may be inside of markets. And then we do have a little bit of compression in pre-market, which facilitated the move. So we certainly had a lot to look at yesterday to consider this trend day. And one of the things to review based on yesterday's price action is, how can you as a trader take advantage of this once you start to recognize some of these signals? I would say that in pre-market, you certainly want to already know or start to define some of your levels that should already be part of your analysis. Obviously, we do a lot of that level-based research here. These are levels that typically define key ranges. We know that the Qs have a high range, a mid-range, and a low range so far. Right now, we're trading within the mid-range, and that facilitated the trend day. We know that the SPY is a little bit stronger. We have sort of our lower end range, that volatile period of a couple of sessions bouncing off the 50-period moving average on the daily. And then we have this tighter upper range that we were able to get into and even come to test some of the higher price points. This is roughly where markets were able to fail on a breakout, so failed range expansion to the upside, and then a lack of follow through led to a lot of weakness in the markets. So having this ahead of time is important. Knowing that there is a gap is obviously another key piece of information. That gap will facilitate some of those thesis plays that may lead to a trend day. Specifically, if you're gapping above or below key levels, that can lead to your alternate thesis, where bulls or bears may have gone long or short at key levels, and then you gap through them in the following session. Now those bulls and bears are underwater. Obviously, they're not happy with their position at that time, and they may look to start covering. We're also getting through anything like support and resistance. You know, the gap thesis is very common with what we do as traders inside of pre-market prep. And I would even say that you want to also review what the price action looks like intraday. And we're going to use the SPY as an example. So let's look at a very simple set of indicators. All I have on here is a 20-period exponential moving average, and I have a 50-period exponential moving average. We know that the SPY has gapped. We know that that gap is leading to a little bit of pressure towards bears that set up a short position on Friday. And now we see that in the morning session, we are getting some follow through. Most notably, if we look at some of our higher time frames, we're getting above, let's see if I mark this right. Go ahead and mark this area. We are starting to get above Friday's high. So whether you're trading in the morning and you're sort of getting your positions in long inside of some of the morning auction, whether you're waiting for that auction to clear, you're seeing things like morning range high breakouts on a gap up, showing additional strength from the market. And then even if you're more patient than that and you're waiting for key levels like previous day high to clear, you're able to get above that and actually come back and test it. No matter where you're positioned, the market is trying to tell you that it wants higher prices. All of these indicators are showing that the price is moving away from previous balance zones, and this range expansion is essentially a higher probability setup. Doesn't always have to work. Things can change on a dime, but you're looking for high probability here, and the market is telling you that, hey, I want to move higher. Obviously, the Qs being the stronger indicator here, or index here. Go ahead and do that. 5 minute. You can see that the Qs were actually facilitating that previous high breakout, little bit of balance and value placed here, and then we were off to the races basically inside of the Qs. Now, whether you're trading the SPY that follows them and is sort of facilitative of the move, it doesn't really matter on a trend day, if I'm being frank. If you were trading big tech yesterday, if you were trading things like Apple or Microsoft, and you were long, you could have very easily been in multiple areas of this chart and gotten plenty of follow through. We saw a big push in big tech. We saw things like Tesla, little bit of a morning pullback, which is also a key structure of a trend day, sort of a refilling of the gap before bulls step in or bears step in the opposite direction to basically lead prices higher. Tesla being one of our stronger big quote unquote tech names, one of our big market cap names, very strong day, and also facilitative of a daily structure on this breakout where we have some sort of inverse head and shoulders on the daily and a 4-hour structure here, which shows that inverse head and shoulders a little bit more clearly. Here, 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 neckline. So the overall thought here is I want everyone to kind of think about what they traded yesterday and really start to review whether or not you took advantage of yesterday's trend day. If you are someone who trades stocks that follow the SPY and the Qs, were you able to pick up on some of these aspects of whether or not a trend day was forming? Did you think about how Friday was a bearish day and yet the market moved higher on Monday? Did you think about how we were clearing some of these key levels that we often reiterate inside of engineering the markets? And with that clearing, did you see some of the follow through that we were getting in our big tech names? I bring up Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. It's also notable to talk about things like Facebook, communications. Bring it to a 5 minute. Communications having a very strong day with Facebook, basically a gap and go structure here. Not very many opportunities to get in on pullbacks, but every single pullback in the morning session was offering additional highs. Google, very similar, maybe not a day trading favorite, but definitely strong. Our big names like Amazon showing a lot of upward strength, kind of reclaiming the previous day's action. And what's interesting is that even our strong sectors, while they weren't performing well yesterday, they did not sell off. This led to additional strength as intraday, something like financials was a bit choppy. But during the afternoon session, financials actually picked up. And while we did see a bit of a pullback in the SPY near the close, this is actually a pretty normal occurrence of a trend day where the market does like to return back to value. And I'll show this on a 1 day, 5-minute chart where the SPY simply moved higher, built value in this area facilitated, by the VA range, and then pulled right back down to where VPOC was on the day. So if you're using more of an intraday perspective, this is a very normal sort of return to the mean, and you can play this in the afternoon even amidst a strong day. Traders inside of Bear Bull will note that we were trading Tesla to the downside during the afternoon session, and that's simply because the SPY, at least from my perspective, was starting to show that pullback to the mean, that retracement to the mean. So even on a trend day, you may not have captured the long side, at least yesterday, but you can wait until the afternoon session and look for more opportunity. Are we going to get additional upside? Are we going to break through more resistance zones? Or is it just simply going to pull back to value? And if it does that, you can take advantage either way. So obviously today, less about what can we take advantage of in the markets. Yesterday wasn't necessarily a ton of breadth in the market, so there wasn't a lot of overall strength. There was a little bit of chop in some of the other sectors, but technology, communications, discretionaries, it was enough to get the market going. Obviously, we now have additional theses to form on this breakout. Can bulls hold? Are they going to pull back inside of this new range that we're forming and basically form a new higher low? We are starting to potentially, I'll bring this to the daily. We're basically breaking out of this area, and can we start to consolidate up here versus getting back down to this 50 period, acting as a deeper pullback than we may want to see. Let's see, what are some other things? Trying to think if that's pretty much it. Yeah, and I think the big thing that I just want to reiterate is that as you're developing as a trader, days like yesterday are not necessarily common. I would say that most of the time, markets like to either be in balance or have a little bit of some sort of test to a key level, and that test on the first attempt will often fail. So in a balanced market, think inside day, think range day. A lot of your buy low, sell at high end of range, sell at high end of range, buy at low end of range. Those strategies tend to work. In more volatile sessions, we may have more trend days, but these trend days are hard to capture. You're coming all the way down to a very deep support zone, and then the market bounces out of nowhere on a gap down. Those can be hard for traders to really understand and facilitate, as there's a lot of volatility there. And ultimately, we're trying to sort of clear the air with some of our analysis here. But on a day like yesterday, I think you can simplify your thesis as a trader and actually come into the market with a bit of a bias. you can ask some questions like, why is the market gapping up after a weak Friday close? Why is the SPY opening in a tight pivot range? And there will be more on that with Thor's success webinar later today for for members. Excuse me. Why is the SPY and the Qs breaking through key resistance zones and not pulling back? Instead of, hitting it and failing, trying to get above and failing, we're staying there and then we're moving higher. If you're asking yourself these questions and yet you're still looking for a short, it can often be a low probability setup for you. And it can actually be very challenging as a trader to try and fight that trend, when throughout the entire morning session, it may have actually been a better probabilistic setup to just simply join the trend on a retracement, on a flag, a pullback to a moving average. Whatever the setup looks like and whatever the stock you're using to facilitate it, look for these opportunities, take note of what they look like in the morning, the pre-market, and even the afternoon session. Most trend days have a little bit of chop inside of the, I would say, the lunchtime period. Usually there's not a ton of action during this time because things are consolidating. Things are trying to decide if they want to move higher once again. And when we get these breakouts, we get a little bit more extension. Then we also get our afternoon pullback. So there's plenty of opportunity here. Main thing is, can you take advantage of it? Can you recognize it early? And once you recognize it, don't be afraid of stepping into it. Define your risk like any other trade, but don't be afraid of the trend. The trend is trying to tell you something about the market and the conditions. That condition is how we profit. That range expansion is what we like as traders. We want to see prices move in one direction and basically never give it back. So obviously, lesson learned yesterday was a good example of a trend day. I wanted to bring it up and also talk about some key examples. There's a bit more information inside of Variable Traders under one of our previous success webinars. So if you are interested in learning more, obviously feel free to join us and look into some of the information we've provided. But with that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Trade safe out there. Bulls did prove a little bit yesterday. Now it's time to see if they can step up and hold this new range. So take it easy, trade safe, and stay tuned for pre-market prep.
All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. I hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, morning, brother. I'm doing great. How are you?
Looks like I lost scanners. Hold on a second, guys. Let me get these scanners back up here. Okay, here we go. So 1 second, guys, while I get these trade ideas to come up here. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2. Perfect. All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone's doing well. Let's get right to it, guys. Let's look at the stocks we had yesterday. We had quite a few on here. We're not going to look through all of them, but let's look at some of the ones that were very active. Space yesterday was obviously insane. Continues to do a whole. Hold on a second. A whole lot of movement here. Let's get back to space. There it is. 5 minute chart this morning. We're looking at some pretty good action, but let's look at yesterday. Here is yesterday's action right in here, 524. Had one of the best pre-market activities, very, very active. And you can see here into the market open. It was just that, guys, very active. Did drop down some more here on a beautiful downtrend towards the below the VWAP. But then later in the morning, it gets above the VWAP and trades even cleaner than the actual market open, guys. Look how clean this was into the market open in the afternoon, and late in the afternoon as well got a nice little pop in continuation. So space had it really going on yesterday. Today again, they're doing very well. Already 1 million shares traded, down 3.8. So we'll take a look at that. Matter, some of the Bitcoin stuff didn't trade so hot at the market open. A little bit choppy at first. A little bit of a breakout here, but not great. As we saw again later in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, this thing just taking off here nicely, trading better than it did the first half of the day. PLTR was another one that started off very choppy. Again, a lot of these stocks later in the afternoon taking off. PLTR had a great pre-market action, and again, and this is the issue with PLTR at times. You get a great pre-market action, and it does not translate into good intraday trading. At least for the first part of the day, it did not. Right, pretty choppy in here until it settles down later in the afternoon. Nvidia was one that took off right from the gate, guys, and this is what we're talking about when it comes to Nvidia. Right, look at this horrible pre-market action, right? And look at the, as soon as the market opens, look how great this thing trades, right? So this is the thing with Nvidia. This is why we kept it on deck, although we saw that, this is not a great pre-market action. But over time, we know Nvidia can trade very, very well, even with a horrible pre-market action. And you saw that yesterday. Look at this beautiful pop here. Never looked back. Held on to that 9 moving average. Does test the 20 later in the day, but by then this thing was long gone and was no turning around for Nvidia there. SQ was choppy, guys. Gave you a quick move towards the downside, very quick reversal, and then from there didn't do a whole lot into again 1 o'clock. A lot of companies taking off around 1 o'clock. They're doing very well. Apple was another one that traded very good. Several things here that I liked on Apple was the breakout of the pre-market high. How many times have we seen this, guys? Right? Sometimes it happens close to the market open. At times it happens later in the day, comes back to retest that pre-market high. And then you get this beautiful continuation. Look at that nice breakout there. Then you get followed by another consolidation here, ABCD pattern coming in play, and the breakout again for the high of the day, and a beautiful continuation. After that, didn't do a whole lot. Again, a lot of stocks ran up later in the day around 1 o'clock. This one already was ran up quite a bit, so didn't give you a whole lot more after that. So again, and there were tons that traded very well yesterday. I know some of you guys are throwing out DKNG. Yeah, DKNG was another one that traded very good. I saw that. I didn't have it on my list, but I saw it from you guys calling it out in the chat room. And again, another one that traded very, very clean yesterday. With that said, Norm, what do we have as far as the spying coming up for today?
Well, as you pointed out, man, and Jared discussed, nice strong trend day after some really nasty action the last few weeks. We're up about just shy of 1/3% on the SPY, 0.5% on the Qs. 9 a.m. we've got the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, and then consumer confidence and new home sales at 10. So we'll see if it continues for the day. Looking pretty decent so far.
Yep, it sure is. So looking forward to see how we're going to end this week and the rest of the day today. All right, guys, let's get to our list here. I'm going to remove everything that we have here on our list from yesterday. Again, we had a whole lot there. And let's make some new rows here. All right, here we go. And we will start with what's gapping up this morning. EDU, I think we've seen this before. It is not a
Oh, yeah.
great intraday trading stock by any means. They have insane volume
It
yesterday,
was
the last couple
yesterday.
of days. You know,
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what's going on. Do they have any news or
Yeah,
anything?
yeah, absolutely. There's a few of these, and it goes back to Chinese regulation. These are
Hmm.
all Chinese education companies, EDUTAL,
Yeah.
Tiger, I believe. No, I'm losing it. Tiger's FinTech. There was one more, but I don't know. I miss it. Anyway, these are facing some regulatory issues in China. China trying to crack down on private education. So
Mm.
they've been hit, and this was a little bounce back for them this morning.
Gotcha. Yeah, yesterday, both of them taking a pretty hard hit. Again, guys, we've seen these quite a bit. They hit our scanners once in a while here in a gapping up or down list. Just be careful. I don't think they trade very well at all, even with the volume coming across. So I'm going to stay away from both of these for now. I hope to find something a lot better with the way this market is trading. Here's Tiger, guys, TIGR. This morning, they're up 7.5. So a good pop this morning. Great volume. Their daily's not great. They tend to overlap a lot on their candles, and I don't like dailies that do that. That can significate some can translate into some choppy action in the intraday. Also, it's hard for them to break out because of this continuous back and forth choppiness. Right, every time they get to a level, it's a little bit harder for them to break out. So this morning, though, they're looking pretty decent as far as a breakout. They're above this 18, so that looks nice on the daily.
Yeah,
Worth taking
Tiger
a
had
look at.
earnings this morning, and they
Nice.
recorded record client
Yeah.
assets.
All right, so that makes sense why this pre-market action is looking good. Their daily's looking nice out of above this breakout of 18 here. So definitely want to keep an eye on these guys today. They got great volume also. Here's OCGN, and they are up 8.2 right now, 1.5 million shares traded. They normally again, their daily chart looks horrible, but they tend to trade a little bit better than what this daily chart is showing here when they're starting the day off like this right now, and that's starting pretty good. So OCGN definitely on deck this morning. We'll see if they're going to stay in play today. Right now, really good volume. They've been consolidating over the last couple of weeks within this 950, looks like, an $8. That's the bigger range of that. The tighter range would be around 9 and 862, where the price action is right now, right on here. So let's see if this thing can break out. Looks like they got some good volume, good momentum coming in right now in the pre-market, heading towards this great level. You see the price right now? And we don't talk levels now, but this is just such a great level here. We're heading right into this area of support and resistance right on there now. So let's see if that's going to break out for that. Excuse me, guys. Let me mute my phone here. All right, let's go here to F2, FU to U. All right, we'll do it that way today.
Not going to be on the show with you until next week, and so you had to throw it
So
out.
I had to throw it out, yeah, because I know tomorrow I won't see you, and the day after until Monday. So here it is, guys. Pre-market action again, not looking great right now. Pretty choppy for the most part. Up 4.1 this morning. The daily looks, it looks okay. Can it break out here? It can. I just don't like this one. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe I should give it a shot and take a closer look at it. Let's do that. Let's do that today. We'll do that. Maybe not as a main one. We'll do it as a possible. We'll see what's going on there. United Airlines. We haven't seen United Airlines here in a long time. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. When you see the airlines do something like this, now we're in play. Right now we're in play. Yep. Before we saw American Airlines just doing nothing, just chopping around, throwing 300,000 shares here and there. For American Airlines, that's no volume.
It was just yesterday, right? It was just yesterday that somebody brought it up, and you're like, these aren't in play.
Yeah,
different
this
day,
is in play
different
today.
Situation.
What's going on this end?
They reported that they're doing better than expected, rebounding from the obvious COVID problems. So.
Okay. So again, and that is looking very well. I gotta tell you, man, there's a lot more traffic. I drive by Newark Airport here quite a bit. It's a lot more traffic in the air than it was even last month. A lot more. It's like planes are lining up. Before you couldn't see the line. The highway runs parallel. If you guys are from Jersey, and you see the lines of planes now, so it's getting busy. United Airlines looking good, guys. I like this one this morning. Nice daily. We'll keep an eye on that one. Let's go ahead and look at American Airlines also here.
It's popping nicely as well.
Yeah, also looking good. I see Delta even on here this morning. It's okay. I think they're all looking great. I'm going to add Delta as a possible today. So all looking good this morning. Someone saying that call I received was somebody calling for my car's warranty. That's a good one. Oh, God.
Or Heather from, what is it, Hyatt Hotels or talking about your recent stay. Nobody stayed in a hotel. I remember 6 months ago getting those. It's like, hotels what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Come up with a better scam.
Unbelievable. The car warranty gets me though. It's just nonstop. I mean, who falls for that stuff now? I can't say that. I know people that have fallen for things like that. CGC this morning, guys, they are up 3% right now, 110,000 shares traded, not a whole lot of volume. Again, I'm not seeing anything great right now. They've just been consolidating over the last couple of days in here. Unless there's any news to get this going, they have not been able to break out of 2330. If they can stay above this, it could be fun. But right now, I'm just not seeing a whole lot on it. So if you guys see something, if it gets better, throw it back out to me.
They had an analyst upgrade.
Oh, okay. Let's put as a possible just so we make sure we take a second look at it, see if that does anything today. mRNA this morning, they are up 2.6 right now, 168,000 shares traded. Possible breakout here, guys. Again, they've been trying to get going here. You can see they're having a tough time getting above 170, 168 where they're at now. Great area of resistance, has been an area of resistance in the past. So they're trying to break out of that. Dip down here quite a bit towards 153, coming right back up to this area of great resistance. Pre-market action though is not great, so I'm going to throw it on as a possible for now. mRNA, we'll leave it there for the moment. Coming up here, IPOE, no, that's not looking good, guys. We'll skip on that one. Light volume daily, I know it's on a run here, but this is horrible pre-market action. I'm concerned with what kind of price action you're going to get on this, especially with such low volume at 4.3. LI, LI is one of those love and hate type stocks. It can trade very well and it can trade very choppy. This morning I don't see anything too exciting on it, so I'm going to skip on it for now. American Airlines we do have already. So gapping down this morning, we have down 14% this morning. This is pretty good. Pre-market action is okay, not great, but that can get better. But I do love this daily chart here. Again, we had the area of possible support here for ABCD pattern that failed, and now we're crashing down nicely here. So I like that on the ride. I'm definitely going to take a look at this one this morning. 600,000 on the volume so far. Norm, any specific catalyst causing this madness on ride today?
Yeah, man. They said they need more money in order to continue operating, and their production that they had anticipated is now they think it'll be half of that.
Okay, yeah, that's never good. So Ride definitely a good one to watch this morning, guys. I love this daily here, that this fallout that we had out of 9 for 828. Let's see if this can be a good one for today. ACHV, we've seen this one in the past before. They're down at 14%. That's a nice drop here, but again, the pre-market action is not all that great right now. They had great volume yesterday as well. Oh no, excuse me, that's 168,000. I'm thinking it's 168 million. No, this is not great volume. This is horrible. So again, today they got more volume than they had the entire last 2-3 months, looks like. So I'm concerned this is not going to trade very well, guys. So let's skip on this one. SCPS, we saw the madness yesterday on this one, guys. How about this one? Yesterday getting halted 5 times. We're looking at this one in our chat room. This one did not hit. We didn't talk about this in the pre-market if you're on YouTube, because the news came out after the market open here. Was it FDA approval on a cancer drug, I believe? Something.
Which one?
SCPS. Low flow stock, definitely in play. Took off nicely here, a couple of halts, and even after being halted 1, 2, 3, 4 times, it still managed to get up to 20. Usually that's not the case. So that means the news is very strong on this one, guys. Could be in play today. They're down 6%. 270,000 shares traded. Just be mindful. These second days runs are a little bit harder and not as clean as the first one. Now, if the news is going to be strong and they got some more upside, we can see some pretty good movement today. But just be careful. There might be some choppy before we get there. EAF, no good, guys. Pre-market action is horrible. Volume is not great. Daily is also trash. So we'll move down to Mara. We're getting into this consolidation thing with Mara again. I don't think they're in play right now. We need Bitcoin to tear things up a little bit before we start looking at Mara and Riot again. Here is Space, or Elon Musk to send out more tweets. Space here this morning, they're up down 3.6, 1.1 million shares traded. I think Space could be a good one to watch today, guys. I think they've been really moving well. Great volume.
I'll second that.
Yeah, good catalyst behind them as well. Yeah, let's keep an eye on that. Here's Riot. Again, I don't think they're really in play right now. BEKE, not much going on here. We had this one a few days ago. I didn't keep it on my list. I don't know if it traded well or not, but I'm gonna keep this one off. I don't like the way some of the things look on this on the daily chart to begin with, and also pre-market action not great at the moment. Rex R no good here, guys. This looks spready just by looking at it, and also the volume, guys, very light, under 1 million. Moving like this with this daily is just no good for us. BTX also not looking great. Horrible daily, and also pre-market action not good. So, all right, that is what we have so far. Let's take a look, guys. Norman, what do you like this morning? Maybe something we haven't
Did you
touched.
go over Myrna, mRNA? You did. They have a significant catalyst.
Yeah.
They've got a couple of things going on, but the big news this morning, the big one is they're trying to get approval. Well, there's a couple of them, but one of them, they're asking for approval for teens on their COVID drug, and I think they've got a couple other drugs in the works too.
Oh, that's a major catalyst if something comes out on that, guys. They're actually looking pretty good this morning. The daily, I like this. We talked about this getting over this 170. That's been a tough spot for them to get over. If that catalyst or news pushes it over this could be a nice one today. So yeah, we have it on here. We'll take a second look at that later on as well, guys. Let's take a look at Apple, since Apple is one that we always have an eye on. I like the way Apple's daily setting up here, guys. If the SPY continues to be strong, I think eventually going to get a nice little breakout here on Apple. So I'm going to put that one as a possible, because I want to keep a close eye on that one, guys. Then that can trade very well, and I just love the way this daily is setting up here against 128. We've been testing that over the last 4 days with a couple days acting as support. So I think Apple's a good, really good one to watch. The daily looks amazing. Again, we had better pre-market action, but this daily, it looks really good this morning. All right, let's start with Andrea Cass Space. We do have on deck no shares for short. Yeah, no shares for short on this one. But you know what? Although it did not have shares for short, we had it on yesterday and the day before, and it still gave us some good opportunities towards the long side. It's unfortunate we can't trade it towards the short side, but I think it's still a good one to keep on your list. POTR. Let's take a look here. POTR's daily. Yes, POTR's daily does look good, but I just think we have better stuff on here, like American Airlines, United. These ones are moving very well. Even OCGN this morning has a very nice pre-market action. Also with a okay daily, if we can start breaking out of this a $9 spot over here. So again, just not sure about that one right now. Apple, we do have Roblox, RBLX. Roblox is very difficult to trade, guys. Oh, look, it's starting to get a nice little breakout here going, so that's nice. But again, even with that, they're not the easiest intraday trading stock, so just be careful with that. They had a very good day yesterday and the day before, nice little breakout. But just look at this here. You had one nice move here, and then aside from that, you're just kind of getting all this chop here. So just be mindful of that when it comes to Roblox. It can be very choppy at times. Also, keep in mind the spread, right? The spread can be a little wider than what I like to see in some of these stocks at times. OCGN is good. We have that on deck, guys, getting a little bit of a break here for the bulls. So that's on deck. Apple, we do have, I agree, has a nice inside pivot. Yes, TLC. What do we have going on? TLC is taking off here. What is this? What's the float? TLC this morning, we're looking at, not a low flow, 34 million shares flow. So this is breaking out here. Has ran up in the past before from, looks like the 7 area all the way up to 12. Here we have it gapping up. This is all pre-market action, by the way, all the way up to 920 pre-market. Then at the market open, you can see it all just drops down. So this morning is doing some more pre-market action. We'll see. We'll take a look at it. I'm going to put it as a possible for now, because by the time we come live after we're done with this show, this one might be over, given how it trades here, right? It looks like a lot of action happens in the pre-market, and then the bell, it just starts selling off. So we'll see. All right, CCL, we did not look at. Let's take a look at CCL. Yeah, I don't think CCL is really in play. American Airlines and the other travel companies really are. CCL right now, again, just kind of not doing a whole lot right now. Volume extremely light. Can this thing break out and hit 29.11? Absolutely.
It's a nice daily.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's a similar industry that's got a catalyst to it. So yeah, maybe it has it. That's kind of a secondary or scanners, but it wouldn't surprise me to see that get going.
Yeah. Especially if, the SPY and the airlines, because the airlines, obviously, that whole travel sector gets help there. So it looks great, but the pre-market action very light right now. We'll have to, like you said, see that one on the scanners. Let's take a look at Tesla this morning. We are great daily as well, guys. Some beautiful daily here. We had a great day yesterday. Oh, I didn't look at this one yesterday, but it looks like we had a great, yeah, beautiful day on Tesla yesterday, guys. Very, very nice there. This morning they're not doing a whole lot, but again, the possible breakout. This daily looks amazing. I don't just have space for Tesla right now, so I cannot add this one to our list. TLC, we do have AMC has been very, very active. I just don't like the way this one trade, guys. It could be very, very tough to trade. At least for me, it is. Had a good day yesterday, possible continuation today, or another drop. Right, every time it gets to this 14 area, seems to start diving down a little bit here. So just be mindful of that one if you're going to be watching that one today. Space is good. Neo this morning, yeah, possible breakout just like Tesla. They got a little more volume though, so I do like that. Yeah, so a possible breakout. Yeah, Neo can have some potential here on that daily. Looks very good. Tesla's the same thing. DKNG, we'll take a look at a few more. This morning DKNG, it's okay. Had a great day yesterday. Not at the best pre-market action right now. Like a lot of these are, they're great potential breakouts, right? AMC we did look at. All right, perfect. I think we cover everything in our chat there. Let's take a look at a few on YouTube. What do we have, guys? Ride, we do have mRNA, we have on there as well. Let's see what else. Neo, we just put on the list. Tesla, you can add Tesla as well, guys. Tesla, is potential there. Daily looks good. Pre-market, pretty quiet right now, but the daily does look good. I agree with you there. Neo is good. AMC, you can watch that one. I don't like the way that one trades. Tesla, Neo, okay. BTX. BTX, did we look at BTX? I believe we did. Yeah, this is, I do not like this pre-market action at all, guys. It's very, very choppy. And look how this trades. I mean, this is really all over the place. So again, I'm just concerned on how clean this is going to trade. Yes, you have a couple of pops here that are nice. But just if you look at the overall chart, it's not clean. Seems very difficult to identify patterns on this one. So be careful with that one. A few more. BA has a great daily too. BA does have a great daily here. Possible breakout. They're above this great area of resistance, 238. So that's nice. Pre-market action is a little bit light, but that's usual BA type pre-market action. It's kind of similar to NVIDIA. We saw what NVIDIA did yesterday with a horrible pre-market action. Yeah, we'll take a look at BA. LI we did look at, guys. We did not like that one, so we're not going to spend time on it. We did look at what else? BYND. BYND is in play. BYND. No, it's not in play right now. That's not in play. All right, last one, guys. RHE. This is I remember this one. This is a tough stock to trade. Very, very choppy, guys. I think it's a low flow. Is it the low flow? Yes, a low flow stock at 1.5 million shares traded. It is a horrible, horrible trading stock. Great for scalping. I've seen Andrew do some pretty nice things on this one. But you got to have good experience to be trading and getting in bed with this thing here, guys. So be very, very, very careful. All right, with that said, let's go over to our community events. We'll come back and fine tune this list here.
All right. Today is Tuesday. Sorry, I'm forgetting what day it is. A little bit of a funky week for me. Tonight, Thor's much anticipated webinar on how to avoid chop using by volume price analysis and ranges. That'll be at 8 p.m. this evening, and we will have that recording up as soon as possible for those of you that cannot attend it live. Then next week, 8 p.m., we'll have Jared talking about cycles and technicals in cycles and detecting flows and everything else. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Dr. Katz, town hall with him. He'll have two traders from the community. They will have a psychological discussion about trading, and the group can watch on, ask questions and such. And then next week, Dr. Reed is going to be talking about people focusing on being messed up by focusing on the 1 minute chart and what he calls the misdirection bar. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day, mark it up. Obviously, it should have entries and exits, and then give any commentary you can to describe the trade. Post it on Twitter, tagging at BearBullTraders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We will announce that on Twitter each afternoon, and then the team will vote over the weekend from all the trades of the day and announce the trade of the week the following Monday. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, you'd like to give it a try, use the promo code PREMARKET24. That will get you a discount off the trial membership, which is 7 days, 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, unless there's a market holiday, which there is on Monday. And it also gives you access to the live onboarding classes every Monday night. And with exception on occasion on big holidays, Carlos can chime in when he hops back on to let us know what the plan is for next Monday's onboarding and tech classes. Then also, if you're looking to become an elite member, you can use the promo code Memorial40. That will be active through the end of the week.
All right, excellent. All right, guys. Yeah, so for next week, we have not thought about it, so I'll have to get back to you guys tomorrow. Just an update on the schedule. So Norm, you are out tomorrow and Thursday, correct?
I am out in about 10 minutes, and then I will not be back till Friday morning.
There you go. So you guys will see Friday, Norm Friday morning. I am off Thursday and Friday, so Thor will be here with you guys Thursday and Friday for the rest of the week, and then we're off Monday, so we have a nice long weekend there for us to kind of have a little bit of fun. So with that said, guys, I will get back to you guys on the onboarding class tomorrow if we're going to be scheduled for Tuesday or even having that Monday. I got to make sure we can do that. So here we go, guys. Let's take a look at what we have. TIGR this morning. I love their daily. And again, a lot of the stuff we went through, if you notice in the pre-market this morning that looked decent, you know, Tesla, NEO, I'm just going to point a few, CGC, even food to here, all of them have this very, very similar pattern, right? We have the drop that has happened over the last couple of weeks, and then we have the consolidation, and now we have the possible breakout, right? That right there is showing up in a lot of places. Here you can see it on Tesla. If we zoom in there, you can see it on NEO, right? You can see it there as well. So there's some stocks, guys, that, you know, that you can watch. Some of them you're going to hit on the scanners. But if you start putting every single stock that has this same thing on it like this, just like that, because the way the market's been trading, you're going to have a very, very long list. So you have to be picky, right? You have to be picky. Keep the stuff that you have traded well before in the past. Keep the stuff that has maybe a better volume. Maybe if it has its own catalyst, great. But a lot of these do not. They're just moving with the overall market. That's what is happening. Even TIGR at some point here, also same thing. The drop you're getting there, and then the consolidation for the possible breakout, right? So if you're wondering, oh, why did I keep this one over that one, they all have the same similar pattern. Keep the one that you think you can trade best, right? So that's the way to go about it. Other ones that do not have that similar pattern are Space. Space has been ripping, right? So they don't have that pattern on the daily. They do here, but they have a huge gap up in a couple of days here, kind of breaking out of that pattern. Ride, same thing, does not have that pattern. It was selling down here, broke out a couple of days ago. Now they have a catalyst today. It's not doing what everybody else is doing. American Airlines, you don't have really that sell-off in the last couple of days because they've been just kind of pushing sideways. They haven't been doing much, but today they're breaking out here with some good volume. This could be exciting. They're definitely in play. Same thing with United, guys. Beautiful daily. You're not going to see that drop and that pop and consolidation on these because they just kind of held their space or held their own while the SPY was just continuing to drop, right? They didn't move a whole lot, and we talked about this. This one here, same thing, consolidation and possible breakout, and then TIGR, as we spoke about. This one does have that pattern that we've been talking about, right? So just kind of a little information there in case you're wondering, oh, why did he keep this one and not that one? You know, you just can't watch all of them. There's going to be so many with that similar pattern there. All right, let's do levels. Starting with TIGR, I do like the volume we're getting here, guys. 1 million shares traded. I do like the possible breakout. Couple of levels here in here that we're going to mark. The low of the pre-market is a good one. We'll throw it on there, 1750. Above this, we have a great level of resistance below the price action, 1816. We'll mark that there as well. And then above this, we do have another level, 1868. We'll mark that there. That's your high of your pre-market. So plenty of levels down here, guys. I know it seems a little bit congested, but it is very, very important to have these. And this is a big move. If you look at the pre-market action, 1816 all the way down to 1749, that's a big drop on a dollar that's trading at 18 bucks, right? So again, you want to have these levels. I know they seem close, but they're really pretty good. 1860, next one here is 1868. That's, you know, almost 50 cents there. So again, really good levels far out for a stock that's trading at $18. If we break out of the pre-market high, right? If we break out of that level, we have some pretty good choppy action here. As you can see, every candle overlapping the previous one. But the one level that sticks out here very clearly is 2020, right? 2020 sticks out very clearly right on here. You can see that clearly, area of resistance that we're getting there, and even support down in this area here, right? So you want to have that there as well. In the middle of that midpoint, you do have a level here. I don't like to put too many levels on the chart, but this one is a kind of minor area of support and resistance. You can see here a couple of days opening and closing right around there, right? So you can see that there. Also great support there and resistance at 1947. So you could throw that level on there as well. Again, this stock can move nicely quite a bit. So you want to have these type of levels. Below the pre-market low, you do have plenty highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and previous day close. Got you covered there. Guys, OCGN this morning, great pre-market action. Is not able to break out too far from the 870 pre-market low levels and highs that we have from the last 2 trading days. So kind of stuck within that a little bit. It did set a high of 893, so we'll mark that there. We do have shares for short on this one, so we'll see how this one is going to play out. So again, guys, great area of support right on here. This is a major support. It's already marked down for you. It's around 870, 865 on this. You can see how much support we have there. Every time we have gone below that, we've been able to hit $8, which is your low of your pre-market, around 802, right? So I'm not going to mark that down, but 802 low of the pre-market right on there. If we were to lose that, the next level we have, the next clean level we have is going to be 718, right? Great area of resistance right on here. You got a couple of wicks going above that. Probably hitting, was that 759, but this is where the action is at. This is where you have the most touches. This is where the main level is going to be. It's going to be that 718. Here's United Airlines, guys. The airlines definitely in play. I like United's daily breaking out nicely here this morning. They're up 3.7. High of the pre-market sitting at 58.10. So we'll throw a level there. Towards the bottom, we do have this level here, very close to the high of the pre-market, is at 57.69. So a lot of touches right on there, guys. 57.59, with the most recent high being a great area of rejection. Here comes up and then comes back down. So that's good there. Below the 57.69, you got plenty of levels here, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, including your pre-market low right there as well. So you got a nice little gap here where there's not a significant amount of daily levels as you have here from the consolidation you're getting. So that's looking really good there. Here's American Airlines. Oh, wait a second. Towards the top, if we were to break out here, let's get some levels towards the top here. Very clean levels, obviously here, 61.29, very clean. All the way up here, 63.68. I don't think we'll get there, but let's spot the very clean levels, right? Very clean area of rejection. You got some rejection here as well, and very clean up there as well. So once you got those out of the way, you can clearly see where the rest of the levels are, and this is going to be 59.58, right? It's not as clean as this one here, this one, or this one, but you can clearly see there's a couple of touches right on there as well. 59.58. So you want to have that level there. And then here, the daily, you could tell the daily's not great, right? It's very choppy. So you're not going to have the best levels as you have somewhere like here or in here as well with this consolidation. Here's American Airlines, guys. A similar chart to what United is doing. Again, their volume 766, or they're definitely looking good this morning. Any strength in the SPY and the overall market, this thing can trade very well. 23.57, 23.93 above that. Nice area of consolidation here. This 24.54. I'm going to mark that down. And you also have resistance right on here on that 24.54. So that's good. If we break out of that, a couple of more levels towards the top, 25.16. We'll throw a level there, and then obviously all the way up here, 25.97. Here's Ride this morning. Ride again has nice drop, 14%. Low of the pre-market sitting at 790. They have a negative catalyst this morning. High of the pre-market sitting at 870. Yep, 870. So that's your high of your pre-market. We'll throw a level there. Then above that, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close, you pretty much cover up there towards the bottom. Very clean level. 2 levels here. You got 670, right? That's where the wicks are hitting. And then you also have this level here, which I like because a couple of days opening and closing right around here, around 713, right? So slightly above that 670, you do have a level here. You know, we get this question a lot. You know, what do you do, the wicks or the opening or closing of the bodies? And when we look at here, something like this, you want to do both. You want to do the wicks, right? Because you got 2 days bouncing off of that, which are pretty nice. And then aside from that, right in here, you know, you also have a couple of days opening and closing on that, right on that level, and also some wicks hitting on that. So you want to have both, right? When it makes sense. Here it makes sense because this is a very big drop from 713 all the way down to 670, from 790 all the way down to 670. You know, that's a big drop. You know, if you can get 713, you're in pretty good shape. Audio is choppy. Not sure why. I can refresh. We're almost set up here, but I'll refresh 1 second. On YouTube, you should be completely fine. Our browser sometimes decides to do funky things. So we'll refresh here quickly. While we do that, while we wait, make sure you hit that thumbs up, guys. We really, really appreciate it. It does help Norm and I quite a bit. So in the channel, so definitely appreciate you taking the time to do that. And subscribe if it's your first time here. Please do that as well. We do this every Monday through Friday when we are live, when the market is open. So starting at 8 a.m. All right. So with that said, I think I got the chat room back. Hopefully that's a lot better. Sometimes our chat room gets a little tired, I guess. Disable webcam here. Just want to make sure it doesn't look choppy. Okay, perfect. Right. Is that good, guys? Much better. Excellent. All right, good. All right, so that is it. Last one, but not least, Space. Space, guys, been on a tear lately. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, surrounding the price action a little bit here, at least from the last day yesterday. And then below that, we do have the day before, right? Highs and lows right on there as well. So towards the bottom, I don't think you need to really add anything. This has done an amazing job. Look at these levels here. Let's just take a look at it, right? You have this one here, which is your low of your pre-market, also gray area, as you can see right in here, gray area of resistance. You have the next one down here as well, right? This is your high from 2 days ago, also gray area of support and resistance there as well. And then towards the bottom, you have this one here, which is your low from 2 days ago, right? Also creating a good area of support and resistance. So again, doing an amazing job for us, making it very, very easy to find these levels. And then towards the bottom of today's price action, we have 25.57. That's a good one. We'll mark that down there. That's your low of your pre-market. Above that, guys, highs, and we got the previous day close, the high from yesterday. And above the highs from yesterday, very, very clean level here, guys. Area of great support, 28.88. Look at this right on here, guys, 28.88. And then slightly above that, another area of support and resistance, 31.40, 31.39, right? So right on, you can see great area of support right on here. Great area of resistance right on here, and support as well, as it just kind of got a ping pong action going there as well. So let's see what Space does, guys. Down 4.7 after 2 really good days, actually a couple of good days gapping up here. Although this, you had a gap up here and it's so down, you still gapped up pretty well. So this is still a very strong bullish situation we got going on here on Space, off a nice catalyst. All right, 9:11 Eastern time this morning. Let's take a look at what our moderators are looking at today. Let's bring that over. Let me resize this screen and we can take a look on what's happening here. Here we go. Okay, I think that looks good enough. All right, there it is. So now let's just here we go. Let's go to the top and see what we have here. All right, we are looking at IPOs for today. FWAC is a SPAC opening up this today. Mike is looking at break of high scanners. NVIDIA out, mRNA both looking very good this morning. NVIDIA with a bang up day yesterday, just incredible. Thor is looking at CCL, NCLH, Space, DKNG, secondary list, United Airlines, American Airlines, mRNA, and CGC this morning, all looking very good on the daily as well for all of those there. Dima is looking at American Airlines, Tiger, NEO, and Apple this morning. Peter is looking at Apple, AMD, United Airlines, secondary list, CCL, TAO, EDU, ANPC is a low flow that he's looking at today. Jared is looking at BA and the airlines, CGC, and TLRY. And some big moves from yesterday for a possible continuation. And here's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of big movers yesterday that have that same kind of chart that we talked about, right? Where they can break out. But if you start to put all of them on your chart, you're going to go nuts because it's just too many that look like that this morning. So be on the lookout for those names that traded very well yesterday on the scanners. And then also if the community calls something out, just double check and see if there's something you can take advantage of. All right, that is what we have, guys. Quick recap of our watch list. We have Tiger on deck here, moving pretty good in the pre-market. Great levels towards the top. We have OCGN, beautiful pre-market action. I was hoping that we can hold here and head back up, but we're now hitting some of the moving averages in the VWAP. I would love for this to stay, towards the north side. I think we get better trading towards the top side than the bottom. That's just my opinion, but we'll have to see. It's going to need a lot to kind of break out from a lot of this resistance we're seeing there. United Airlines getting a little bit of consolidation here. I want to see this break out of 58.11 and hopefully start hitting that 59. That would be great. And again, some of these moves might not happen right away, guys. Let's see what the overall market is doing. If the overall market starts selling down, it's going to be tough to get that momentum to go to the upside, right? We've seen that plenty of times. American Airlines is good, guys, very similar to United. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ride is decent, gapping down this morning. Let's see what it does. Hopefully it's not too choppy. Doesn't have a great pre-market activity right now. The volume is good. Let's see, we're midpoint between the highs and lows of the pre-market right now, 825. I mean, we're just deciding what's the next step here as we try to hold on to this 827. Space is very good, guys, kind of taking a little bit of a break after such a great run. This one could be interesting as well. Here's Brian coming in with his list. He is looking at PRVB, and I want to look at that one because I see a couple of people tagging me on that one. PRVB this morning, and this is taking off. Low flow. What is this? What do we have here? We have time 9:15. We have 1 minute. PRVB. It is not a low flow. 58 million shares flow. What's the news, guys? Anything happening here? I'll add it to my list here. I'll dissect it a little bit later as we get moving. But Brian has that one on his list. He also has DKNG, TIGR. He has TAO as well. And he also has American Airlines or BA. So either one of those he's going to be watching this morning. John coming in with his list. NVIDIA, Roku, SQ, NBA on top of his list this morning. So FDA approval or the FDA report posted on PRVB. So ain't that great having a chat room, guys? This is the stuff that really makes a difference. I'm telling you, don't take my word for it. Try our free trial, not free trial, our 7-day trial, right? It's $24 with pre-market 24. Use that discount and try it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. See what it's like to be part of the community, our variable traders community, and what things you can benefit from it, right? With that said, guys, thank you so much over on YouTube and TradingView for joining us every morning. We appreciate you for doing that. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps the channel. It really helps Norm and I. So we appreciate that very much. And we will see you tomorrow. Norm will not be until Friday, but I will be here with Peter or Thor. We'll figure that out. We'll roll the dice and see who's going to come on. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, trade safe, and have a good one, everyone.